All right. So in this video, we are going to be going over Chef Babette Davis, age 73, shares her secret on how to reverse aging and then losing weight in 2024. So we'll be taking a look at what she does and what she's saying and see if it's like accurate from a biochemistry perspective, that sort of a thing. Let's get to it. Let's see what she has to say.
Unlock the secret to reversing the hands of time. Have you ever gazed in awe at individuals who defy the aging process, exuding youthful energy and a timeless glow? If so, you're in for a treat.
Okay, so I can already tell just looking at this. It looks like there is, this does not look good. This does definitely not look good. All right, enlighten me.
Join us as we uncover the mystery behind Chef Babette, a 72-year-old woman who has discovered the key to aging backwards. Get ready to be mesmerized as we reveal the secrets to her ageless beauty, both inside and out, in this must-watch video.
I have the moment. I am in complete and total control over my seconds.
Rising from the rough streets of East Los Angeles, Chef Babette's journey to health and happiness was far
The rough streets, what?
from easy. Born on December 7th, 1952, she faced a tumultuous childhood filled with severe health conditions such as asthma, eczema, and allergies. Yet she remembers her childhood filled with a lot of unhappiness and challenges as she was the victim of abuse and child molestation at age 5. Tumultuous and toxic relationships plagued Chef Babette's younger years. One of these relationships took a dangerous turn when her boyfriend introduced her to the dark world of cocaine and crack addiction.
Okay.
Despite this, she held on to her job at an airline company in Denver, Colorado. However, the addiction proved too much to handle, leading her to quit her job and the relationship and move back to Los Angeles in search of a clean start. Unfortunately, she found herself in another toxic relationship with a boyfriend who taught her the illegal trade of cooking and selling crack cocaine.
Okay, but that, oh, okay, come on. You can't tell me this is like, okay, I guess we'll just be going to female nature at this point. I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but I mean, just, this isn't like, she doesn't just like suddenly end up in a toxic relationship. Like, she knows what you're getting into especially if you're getting into a relationship, okay? Like, this is a no-brainer. It's the thrill. Like, that's, women live in the moment, so this is just a thrill thing. But like, why aren't you just giving me, this is, I mean, is this not, I don't know, to me this is very clear. Like, I see this pretty clearly. This is the whole victim card thing. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work when you see things as they are and then you go, oh, okay, you're just throwing yourself in that situation again. So
Chef Babette's life spiraled out of control as she became both an addict and a dealer, unable to escape the terrible circumstances she found herself in. In her 20s and 30s, Babette struggled with persistent skin breakouts, bloating, and cocaine addiction.
okay, skin breakouts and bloating. That's, I mean, in terms of problems, that's not honestly as bad as I would think, unless the skin breakouts are absolutely terrible, because I definitely know people who have suffered far worse, especially if they're not carnivore and they're young, like incredibly young, like me, for instance. That's been pretty bad. But regardless, all right.
Compounding her emotional trauma as a child. At this point, she decided to change her lifestyle, as that was the only way for her to become happier and healthier. Chef Babette began her journey to age reversal in her 40s, after discovering the much-coveted secret to reversing age. One of the significant lifestyle changes she embraced during this period was eliminating the typical American diet of fast foods, meat, and dairy products, and prioritizing physical exercise. Babette owes...
Okay, so I'm going to say right now, when it comes to exercise isn't actually really healthy. It's only healthy doing it constantly over and over and over again if you're exposing your body to exogenous carbohydrates. If you're not exposing your body to exogenous carbohydrates, in this case, these are all basically carbohydrates. If you're not exposing yourself to these carbohydrates on a constant basis, then you shouldn't be exercising like every day or regularly. You should be exercising like every 3 days, maybe every 4 or 7 days. So I wouldn't, because the healing process of the body, if you know like how the muscle repair process and whatnot works, then you would know that originally when you work your muscles to failure at first, they will end up breaking, and then afterwards the inflammation step takes like 3 days, and that's just part of that's sometimes just part of the inflammation stage. Then the inflammation stage is usually where you feel that soreness. That soreness isn't from lactic acid, it's from the inflammation. It's from literal immune cells being recruited. And the reason immune cells are being recruited is because there is actually tissue remodeling going on, because there's been so much tissue damage that tissue remodeling occurs. And during this process of tissue remodeling in the muscle, that's a huge, it's like a really, really huge part of whether or not you do or don't grow muscle. Now, if that tissue remodeling doesn't occur and you don't work your muscle to muscle failure, then you won't gain extra muscle, which means you won't actually be able to do more. So, but I mean, having muscle isn't always necessarily healthy either. I mean, there's not really ideal. I don't see the argument. I'm having a very difficult time seeing the argument for exercise being healthy, assuming that the individual is carnivore. I find that extremely difficult.
Much of her youthful appearance to her vegan diet, which she began to love when she lived with her godmother, a Seventh-day Adventist who ate...
Oh, God. A Seventh-day Adventist. Okay. Well, I think that explains everything.
Eat only vegan foods. But her love for vegan dishes became more intense after meeting her husband, Ron Davis, in 1990. On her first date, Ron took her to LA's Griffith Park and gifted her 3 books: Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet Healing System, Fit for Life 2, and Fit for Life. These books had tremendous effects on her physical and nutritional life. And
oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy. All right, I got to be honest here. That is not gonna, in my opinion, that's not enough. Okay, like this stuff. It's Seventh-day Adventist. Of course, you're going to get books on basically more, not necessarily the Fit for Life stuff, but you're definitely going to get books on, eat plants. You're a Seventh-day Adventist. They literally, that's their religion. Their religion is meat is evil because meat causes lust and therefore meat is sinful. That sort of a thing. So like, no, I don't know. If you know the whole history lesson, if you're interested in the whole history lesson behind the Seventh-day Adventist and stuff, in fact, if you're interested in any of the science that I speak of in this video at all or anything like that, go check my homepage and go look at the playlists down below. If you're interested in the science behind the nutrition of what I'm talking about and why what I say is optimal nutrition, it's the Real Nutrition Science playlist. If you're interested in the exercise stuff or why exercise is actually a little bit unhealthy, go check out the Min-Maxing Health playlist. And if you're interested in all that stuff, yeah, once again, it's all in the homepage, all in the playlists found down below. Literally almost everything that I talk about is in those playlists.
enabled her to embrace the journey to age reversal. As a 72-year-old, Chef Babette can run 900 steps, which you rarely see people in their 70s do. Also, for her 72nd birthday, she did 72 push-ups at her restaurant. In addition, she works out daily for about an hour. The couple decided to take a leap of faith in 2008 at the height of the recession. I'm
going to say right now, there is one thing that she has going for her if it isn't really obvious.
Decided to take a leap of faith.
Her face is actually considered like a very attractive face. Extremely attractive, actually. If you look at, there's some like really obvious indicators, but just to give some, like, cheekbones are definitely on the side. They protrude. You can see them. You can see them without her smiling, I'm pretty sure. Jawline, I mean, you could see an obvious jawline. It's not really that big of a deal for females, though. The proportions of her face, I would say, are pretty good. I'd say maybe her nose is like a little bad. Her eyes, though, are good. Although you can definitely see, like, if you look at her neck, it sort of like freaks you out, because that's the... I don't know if I'd say freaks you out. It's like, I don't know if I would say that's aging, which it possibly could be. I think there is definitely a little bit of makeup here. Obviously, there's some makeup on that's being put on, and it's not being talked about, because if you look at like all of her pictures that she's shown, there definitely looks like there's some makeup.
Faith in 2008 at the height of the recession, and followed their hearts and opened a vegan restaurant in the heart of Inglewood, California. Naysayers warned them that the community wouldn't support such a venture, but the couple was undeterred. They named their eatery Stuff I Eat. To their surprise, it became an instant hit. People flocked to the restaurant, eager to sample the delicious plant-based foods. The couple's...
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If she's like popular, then obviously it's going to get traction, right? I mean, like, it's, for instance, like if I were to open a restaurant, nobody would know about it because I only have 5,000 subs on YouTube. But if Anthony Chafee were to open a restaurant, then everybody would know about it because he has like 400, God knows how many subs, right? So it's sort of I think it's sort of a popularity thing as well.
Passion and hard work paid off in the form of a thriving business and overflowing cash registers. Over the years, Chef Babette has made countless television appearances and hosted several cooking shows, bringing her massive fame. According to this illustrious chef, her daily routines include going to bed anywhere between 7 and 10 p.m.
Okay, so just to show you,
then waking up between 2 a.m. and 2 going to bed anywhere.
What I mean by she has like a really good face.
Chef, her daily routine.
Okay, so I don't know if you can see this too easily, but her teeth are aligned, like all of her teeth are very well aligned, and as you can see, she's barely even smiling, and you can see the cheekbones. Now, if you look at mine, for instance, mine aren't perfectly aligned. Like, if the quote-unquote very attractive people just have like perfectly aligned teeth. Like, their teeth are all perfectly aligned. So that's part of it. Which, by the way, if you're interested in the whole facial attractiveness thing, go check out the playlist on bone remodeling. I have one on that as well. So yeah.
Routines include going to bed anywhere between 7 and 10 p.m., then waking up between 2 a.m. and 2:30 a.m., and doing a 30-minute workout, showering, and arriving at her restaurant between 4.
I don't think showering is healthy. I explained that in the Min-Maxing Health playlist. It's actually, I think it's really bad for your skin. It's really, really bad for your skin.
4 and 5 a.m. Apart from prioritizing physical exercise and a healthy diet, one of the other secrets which have helped Chef Babette look decades younger than her actual age is always being in a mental state of positivity. During one of...
I will say, actually, I do think that could play a little bit of a role. This mental state of positivity sort of stuff, I definitely think that could play a bit of a role in feeling, not just feeling better, but looking better. Because I've noticed it from like personal experience. It definitely does affect your life, and you feel better, right? This positivity stuff. But at the same time, I don't like it because, in my opinion, you can delude yourself in it, which is not good. I'm gonna say that. I don't know if you've heard of manifestation before, but I think you can do that with manifestation, and it will sort of work. It depends. It depends on the meditation, and it depends on like how genuine the feeling is and stuff. But it also comes with its downside, and it's like seeing reality for what it actually is becomes very difficult. So I don't like it. I personally don't like it. I can't do that. I can't do that fake positivity stuff. I just can't. Because seeing reality for what it is, it's when you see that, it gets pretty bad. It gets really bad, actually.
Her interviews, she revealed that living in the mistakes of the past and being anxious about tomorrow depreciates one's health and stresses one out.
Repeat that?
Past and being anxious about. During one of her interviews, she revealed that living in the mistakes of the past.
Living in the mistakes of the past. Okay. Yeah, but I think it's important to learn from your mistakes, but okay.
and being anxious about tomorrow.
Okay, so it's basically just living in the moment. That's what she's saying, which is literally how women operate anyways. They usually live in the moment. So, I mean, I don't think women have to worry as much about this problem as men do, because men naturally are sort of, I think, forced to think ahead of time and forced to plan ahead, because if you don't, you will suffer. But that's a completely different thing. Well, actually, it depends. If you're on the extremely attractive side of men, then you sort of are lucky and you get to throw yourself in that category of living in the moment, and you won't suffer as badly, I don't think. So
Depreciates one's health and stresses one out. According to Chef Babette, why worry about the next 6 months? It makes no sense, especially when you can live in the moment and be happy. People experience heart attacks and emotional traumas simply by worrying too much and having negative mental states. Chef Babette encourages people who want to reverse their ages and look younger always to be happy and remain in a positive mental state. One of the things that have made Chef Babette's vegan restaurant successful over the years is her ability to make vegan dishes taste like typical foods. The dishes served at her vegan restaurant include tacos, burritos, varieties of soups, and the soul food plate, which is the restaurant's unique and most loved vegan item. Chef Babette creatively replaced what would have been meat with...
Which is the healthiest thing you can eat, by the way. You should be eating meat. Like, it's the most nutritionally dense food. There's a reason why people, especially vegans, are always trying to imitate the taste of meat and imitate the taste of eggs, imitate the taste of chicken, imitate the taste of beef, imitate the taste of you name it. They're always trying to imitate the taste of these. And the reason is because these things, when they hit your taste receptors, your body goes, holy crap, I finally got what I've been looking for. Give me more of that. So it's like, ugh.
With barbecue tofu. The tofu is sliced into strips, put on a grill, browned on both sides, seasoned, and submerged in barbecue sauce. Chef Babette also discovered that everyone needs something raw when eating, which prompted her to include a salad in every vegan dish at her restaurant.
Okay, this is where it gets crazy. In my opinion, no, you don't need to be rawing out your foods, even if you're carnivore and like raw carnivore versus non-raw carnivore. Honestly, this thing against cooking your meat, I don't think the argument is really that strong, because if you know how vitamin and mineral interactions work, which are extremely complicated, cooking and rawing your meat could be beneficial. Both of them have benefits, because based on vitamin and mineral interactions, you can either, one, increase a certain vitamin or increase a certain mineral to such a degree that it decreases the absorption of others, which makes you end up getting less, which is exactly why you see so many vegans anemic, because all of these phytotoxins found in plants will literally target iron over and over and over and over and over again, and they will continuously target iron and prevent iron absorption. So that's not healthy. In meat, I'm not aware of this happening at all. I don't think this happens whether or not you overcook your meat or whether or not you don't cook your meat at all.
Restaurant. The menu includes vegan mac and cheese, potato salad without eggs, kale greens, black-eyed peas, gluten-free cornbread.
Okay, kale is like extremely high in there's like a lot of things she mentioned, but kale is extremely high in oxalates. You don't want that stuff. That if you choose to add any sort of plant in my opinion, the only one, I wouldn't even add two of them, but there are only two that I can see that are somewhat like, if you add them in, it's not going to be extremely bad if you just have the rest filled with meat. One is avocado and two is like lime or lemon. Those are the only two. And the reason I say that is because the lime and lemon, the amount of vitamin C that helps negate the extra, will help a little bit anyways, negate the extra damage of glucose will be nice and all, but once again, this is not healthy. I wouldn't recommend this. I don't eat this myself. I eat full meat and meat only. That's it. I have a what I eat in a day video, which once again, if you're interested, go check it out down below. In the playlists found, it's in one of those playlists. That, and secondly, there's a lot of things. But for avocado, the reason I say avocado is because I think the glucose content is not really that high relative to other plants as a general rule. The polyunsaturated fat content, though, is extremely high. And if you look at any sort of these plants, by the way, before the agricultural revolution, these did not exist at all. They weren't eaten. They never existed. They didn't even come close to it. So just to give you an example, this branch of corn right here that you can see, that used to be like, actually, let's just cut that used to be the size of this fork, for instance, if not smaller. Actually, it was smaller. It's called teosinte if you're very interested, and you could look it up for any plant, by the way. Every single one of these plants never used to be this big. No animal or human were ever eating things like these because it would be unsustainable because they were too small. It was only once the agricultural revolution came about around 12,000 years ago, which, by the way, that is negligible on an evolutionary scale. You can't evolve within that time frame. It has to be like hundreds of millions of years in order for evolution to sort of take place, and this is not one of them. So
bread made with buckwheat flour, portobello mushrooms, Kilimanjaro case.
I sometimes get a question on mushrooms, whether or not mushrooms are healthy. I think mushrooms are not healthy. They have things similar to plants. Pretty sure they're called like mycotoxins, if I remember correctly, which is basically their version of phytotoxins. So, I mean, every organism has to defend itself in some way or another. And plants will always defend themselves chemically, or anything that can't move will defend itself chemically because, I mean, they can't defend themselves mechanically, right? They can't just punch you. But on the other hand, if you try to bite into a deer or a horse, I don't think I need to explain it for you. You're going to get kicked and you're going to go flying across the room, right? So it's not going to work.
Quesadillas, enchiladas, and so much more. According to Chef Babette, if you want to live a healthy and fulfilling life and successfully reverse aging, then you must embrace these plant-based foods as they are more beneficial than people's regular food.
Okay, I would say they're more beneficial than people's regular food if they're eating the standard American diet. Yes. But if they're not, and they're eating meat, no, they're definitely not. You can just look at the vitamin and mineral content, which, by the way, is abysmal in plants because, just to give you an example, you need to eat 900 grams of sweet potato in order to get an equivalent amount of vitamin A, which is, by the way, the highest thing that you can get from plants, vitamin A from sweet potato. That is the highest equivalent in comparison to 100 grams of beef liver. Now, which one are you going to eat? 100 grams of beef liver or 900 grams of sweet potato, okay? I just need to, by the way, let me reiterate that. 900 grams of sweet potato, that is almost an entire kilogram of sweet potato in order to get the equivalent amount of vitamin A, which in this case, from plants, you get it in the form of beta carotene, and it's extremely not bioavailable because the conversion ratio is like 1 to 12, so, it's not even close.
For someone who wants to begin their vegan journey, Chef Babette advises educating oneself on the benefits of going vegan, as that is the only way to enjoy being a vegan. You will enjoy your vegan journey when you understand the tremendous health benefits that come with it.
Okay, yeah, let's be honest, there's no health benefits that come with this, okay? Unless you've been exposing yourself to the standard American diet regularly, there is no health benefits. In fact, there are health consequences. And I am, once again, a great example of that because I used to be in this field of eating plants is very healthy, and lo and behold, it wrecked my life. Don't do that, by the way. I was actually grown up like this. It's literally how my parents grew me up. This stuff is healthy, so. And I'm very good at overriding my taste receptors and saying, just eat it anyways, Blaze. Just eat it anyways. Just eat it anyways. So.
And how it can successfully reverse your age and make you look younger. Unlike when you become a vegan without knowing the actual benefits of veganism and the health consequences of eating the typical foods people eat. Chef Babette recommends that people not cook their food over 115 degrees Fahrenheit to obtain all the nutrients.
No, that's really bad, actually. Most people will not be able to handle that. And if you don't already know, if you've seen these like raw vegan people, it's terrible. The reason why you cook plants is so you basically eliminate any sort of or hopefully, you can't really do it all the time, but you hopefully eliminate any sort of the phytotoxins that are existing in that plant and that are going to hinder the nutrient absorption or just cause damage flat out. Now, in this case, there are a couple. Well, it depends on what she's showing. But here, I don't know if this is onions or tomatoes. Doesn't matter what it is. If you ever notice that you'll eat let's say like a pineapple or a tomato, right? But back in the day, I still remember this. If you ate a pineapple or a tomato raw, your tongue will get all itchy and it'll get all painful, right? Yeah, that's because the phytotoxins in this thing are literally like fighting they're basically killing your tongue. They're more specifically, I guess you would say there are certain enzymes that are breaking down proteins most likely in your tongue or causing some sort of damage on your tongue. And it's not comfortable, by the way, okay? There's a reason that it's not comfortable. You shouldn't be eating it if it's not comfortable to eat. Like, if you eat meat, you'll notice how oddly comfortable it is in comparison to eating a raw tomato. Just try both of them. Raw meat, raw tomato, which one's going to work better, right? So,
This kills the live enzymes that are beneficial to the body. To gain all the nutrients in a food, there has to be a high level of rawness in the food, and that is why you should cook your food at lower temperatures.
No. Yes and no. I would say I personally, if I cook meat, I have it basically blue in the middle. Like I have it really, really raw in the middle. Almost completely raw, actually. But that's just the way I like the taste of meat. And once again, I think that you should just listen to your taste buds because your taste buds are really damn good at telling you what it does and doesn't need. So if you're eating something, if you're eating meat and your taste buds are saying, "Hey, stop eating meat. I don't want any more meat." The reason is because, well, one, partially the gut bacteria literally doing signaling to your brain, "Hey, I want to eat this." But also the same thing, sadly, can apply to carbohydrates and sugar. So if you're eating carbohydrates and sugar, then you'll eat enough meat and then you'll eventually get this craving of carbohydrates and sugar. That's literally gut bacteria sending signals to your brain being like, "Feed me what I want. Feed me what I want. I want sugar. I want sugar. Give me sugar. Give me sugar. Give me," right? You don't want to give them sugar, by the way. You want to starve them out if you can, because you don't want those cravings there. But regardless, that's a completely different topic. Once again, all of that is found in the Real Nutrition Science or the Min-Maxing Health playlist. So go check that out.
When it comes to vegan diets, one of the easiest ways people can enjoy being vegan is by making their food simple and cost-effective and creatively experimenting till they get what works best for them.
I'm going to be honest. If you try this, it's not going to work, okay? Like, it's just not going to work. Most people do not have success on vegan. And if they have, quote unquote, success, they're supplementing because they have to supplement, number one. Or number two, they are completely ignoring all of the damage that is being done to their body, which is, by the way, many vegans do this. Like, so many vegans do this. You can just see it in some of these videos, like vegan, the epitome of malnourishment or something. If you type that in Google, the epitome of malnourishment vegan, and then you look at that series, you'll see what I mean. Like, people will live in delusion being like, "Well, I'm eating everything that's healthy, and yet for some reason my teeth are falling out and my hair is falling out and I'm getting eczema and rashes," right? The reason is because not everybody's body is so well developed. Like, her body is clearly well developed. Even if she's eating a trash diet, you could see her face, just as one example, is clearly well developed. That's literally what an attractive face is, in part. It's also mewing, but I'm not going to be explaining that. That's, once again, if you're interested in that, bone remodeling playlist.
The challenge many people who embrace the vegan lifestyle face is family members who don't buy into the idea of turning vegan.
No, it's not the family members. It's the malnutrition, okay? You become emaciated and anemic. And then suddenly you have dark circles under your eyes and you're always exhausted and you're sleeping for 16 hours and you're always hungry. No, it's not just the family members. It's literally your body as well. You don't give your body what it needs and it's going to be like, "Hey, give me what I need. Give me what I need. Give me what I need."
The advice Chef Babette gives to people facing such challenges is never to try to force them to become vegans. All you can do is encourage and educate them on why embracing a vegan diet is necessary for age reversal and looking decades younger. Aside from being a vegan chef and television personality, Chef Babette is also an animal rights advocate. She firmly believes that animals are just like humans, and that we humans...
I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, just this is like a random thing. If you ever looked at pandas, like that panda right there, if you look at like their design, they sort of look like they're designed for carnivory, but they're eating bamboo, right? I don't know. To me, it's a little weird. Kind of makes me wonder.
don't have to destroy the lives of animals just to feed ourselves. But
Yeah, you do. That's literally like the circle of life. This is like how ecosystems exist. If there is nothing to keep the deer in check, or if there is nothing to keep any of these herbivores in check, if there is no other carnivore out there that can do that, then you've got an invasive species and you got some serious problems on your hands. Because that invasive species is going to grow out of control. They're going to go completely out of proportion. And then lo and behold, you got even bigger problems now. Because when that ends up happening, because when that does end up happening, is all of anything below that invasive species suddenly gets eaten. Whatever that invasive species eats, now they're going to eat all of it. And there's going to be no competition. Which also means that they can basically desecrate the entire land and desertify it for that matter, because they'll eat all of the plants and there won't be anything to stop them. Which has happened in the past, by the way. There have been examples of that.
But we have a better and healthier option in vegan diets. Chef Babette has also been critical of factory farming, where animals are jam-packed, raised in very unhealthy conditions, and later
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of factory farming. I'll agree with her on that.
used as food. Over the years, this fantastic chef has grown to look younger, fitter, and more beautiful than her actual age. So if you see her walking past you, you will ultimately mistake the 72-year-old chef for a woman in her 40s. Her lifestyle keeps inspiring thousands of her followers. For you to begin reversing your age just like Chef Babette,
Look at her teeth, okay? This is I just want to show you what a well-developed face looks like. So, if you can see, her palate is extremely wide, okay? This is huge. Like, you can, just from her smile, you can see so much of her teeth as it is. One, two, three, four, five. I'll count the other way because it's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you could see so much of it, and it's so pronounced. Same thing with the bottom row. Bottom row doesn't really matter as much. It's more so the top row where you can really tell. But regardless, this is an indicator of like correct facial development. And this does not come from diet. It can come from diet. Diet can help influence it, but it does not directly come from diet, actually. It comes from just breathing correctly. So, yeah.
like Chef Babette, then you must embrace healthy lifestyle habits, which include eating a healthy diet, worrying less,
Yeah, see, she's like, this is tons of makeup. But I will say that her face is very well developed. So she has that going for her. Which, by the way, if you've never noticed, a lot of these people who suddenly become popular out of nowhere usually will have good facial development. They will usually have good faces because, I mean, attractiveness really makes a difference in whether or not you do or don't advance in anything in life, by the way. I mean, it's a cold, harsh reality. Intelligence is not. If you think intelligence does, I should have been up there months ago, when my channel was made. Okay, that's not how it works. It's not even extremism, whether or not like you're actually willing to push the boundaries as well of what people think is normal. For instance, what I do, once again, it's none of that stuff. It's all looks. All of it is looks. That's the way it is. And if you want to see, by the way, pushing the boundaries of what people think is and isn't normal, and quite literally people being unable to tell that I do any of these things, like not brushing my teeth, not showering, wearing correct shoes, wearing correct shoes means don't wear shoes with soles in them. If you don't know what barefoot shoes are, or walking barefoot, you need to do that because you will screw up your feet if you don't otherwise. I don't know if I made a video on that, but it's a pretty long time ago. I might have to update and make another one on that. All right, so that was reviewing Chef Babette Davis. Now, I guess I talked about a little more things than I usually talk about. In fact, some of the things I talked about, I don't even mention on my channel. But will I ever mention them on my channel? I don't know. but I'm giving you my view on things and how I see things because I think it's important to see reality for what it is. I think it's important to not ignore reality, but regardless, that's besides the point. Hopefully you learned something in this video. And once again, if you are interested in joining other like-minded people like yourself, or anybody watching this video for that matter who's interested in this sort of content or this sort of stuff, go click my link down below. Go join my Discord down below. Yeah, you'll find it in the Discord. Once again, thanks for watching. If you found the video helpful or informative, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below because it really does help the channel grow. And if you're interested in seeing all of my videos ahead of time, go click the join button down below where you could do exactly that. See all of my videos ahead of time. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.